Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to my French Grand Prix preview now. We've had a very disappointing last couple of races, but this weekend will hopefully be a different story. It has been a long time since F1 last raced at Paul Ricard and the layout has changed a lot since then, so this could be quite an unpredictable weekend. Usually at this point I would take a look at the stats from last year's race, but seeing as there wasn't one, let's go all the way back to 1990, the last time the race was held at Paul Ricard. As I've already said, the layout has changed, so the lap times are irrelevant, but it was Nigel Mansell who put his Ferrari on pole position with a lap time of a 1:04.402, but it was Alain Prost in the other Ferrari who took victory on the Sunday. He finished ahead of Ivan Capelli in his Leighton house in a fantastic result for him and the team, with Ayrton Senna finishing in third place in his McLaren, and Nigel Mansell set the fastest lap of the race on lap 64 with a 1:08.012. But moving it back to 2018 then, and one man who will be hoping for a good weekend is Fernando Alonso. Of course, he is fresh off the back of victory at Le Mans, and the double world champion will be looking to bounce back after two very disappointing weekends in Monaco and Canada, which saw the Spaniard retire from both with mechanical issues. The season has tailed off a little bit for McLaren in the last few races, after, to be fair, a very strong start to the year. But they could well struggle again this weekend, particularly down those long straights. But if anyone can pull a decent result out of the bag at pretty much a new circuit, it's Fernando Alonso. In terms of the circuit then, the track length is just over 5.8 kilometres or 3.6 miles. There will be 53 laps on Sunday, which translates to a race distance of 309.6 kilometres or just over 192 miles. One thing is for sure, and we really don't know what to expect in the way of overtaking this weekend, but the circuit layout certainly looks as though it could well offer up plenty of opportunities. What will be vital this weekend though is practice. Yes, of course, some drivers have had the opportunity to run Pirelli tyre tests in recent years and so have some knowledge of the track, but that is going to be nowhere near enough. Every lap in the bag before qualifying could be vital in terms of knowledge and data. But in all honesty, I love weekends like this because we just don't know what to expect. So I am very much looking forward to this weekend's French Grand Prix. The available tyres this weekend are the soft, the super soft and the ultra soft, with both Mercedes and Ferrari taking 9 sets of the purple mark tyres for all 4 of their drivers, but they have split it on the softs and the super softs. Red Bull will take just 7 sets of the ultra-soft tyres, but Williams are taking the most with 10. I suppose we can't read too much into strategy at this stage, but looking at those tyre choices, it doesn't look as though we're going to get too much of a mix in terms of strategy. I guess just moving away from the French Grand Prix for just a moment, there was some pretty big news coming out of Formula 1 this morning, and it was confirmed that Red Bull will be ditching Renault at the end of the current season, with the team being powered by Honda from 2019 onwards. It was an announcement that I think it's fair to say many expected, and so hasn't come as a huge shock, but a lot of people believe it to be a big gamble and that it could prove pivotal in Daniel Ricciardo's decision-making process regarding his future. But on the decision to switch engine manufacturers, Christian Horner said, "This multi-year agreement with Honda signals the start of an exciting new phase in Aston Martin Red Bull Racing's efforts to compete not just for Grand Prix wins, but for what is always our goal, championship titles. We have always taken decisions such as this dispassionately and with only one criteria in mind. Do we believe the outcome will allow us to compete at a higher level? After careful consideration and evaluation, we are certain this partnership with Honda is the right direction for the team. We have been impressed by Honda's commitment to F1, by the rapid steps they have made in recent times with our sister team Toro Rosso, and by the scope of their ambition, which matches our own. We look forward to working with Honda in the coming years and to racing together in pursuit of F1's biggest prizes. Honda's alignment with both Red Bull Formula 1 teams provides enormous potential. Honda will have access to a wealth of data from both outfits, with Red Bull Racing leading the way, and the opportunities for faster, more effective and more competitive development are doubled." Of course, this announcement will see a 12-year partnership between Renault and Red Bull come to an end, a partnership which has been fractured at times, but still delivered 4 consecutive drivers and constructors titles between 2010 and 2013. Christian Horner added, "We would like to thank Renault for the past 12 years, a period during which we experienced some incredible moments together. We have sometimes had our differences, but Renault has always worked tirelessly and to the best of its ability to provide us with a competitive power unit. That is still the case today, and we would like to thank the Renault team, and particularly the guys in our garage at every race, for their unstinting commitment, and we look forward to ending our partnership on a high come the end of the season. And finally, on this, Honda's Masashi Yamamoto has said that Red Bull will not be given the label as a works or customer team, and has insisted that all three parties are on an equal footing. Yamamoto said, "From a manufacturer's point of view, it doesn't make sense to identify either team as either a works or a customer, as current regulations oblige us to supply the same power unit to all our teams. In that sense, this contract puts the parties into an equal position. Just as was the case with Toro Rosso, we felt a sincere respect from Red Bull throughout the conversation that led to this contract. We appreciate them showing us such an attitude even after seeing our difficult time over the previous 3 years in F1. I gave my view on all of this during a live stream earlier today, which, if you are interested, you can find in the card at the top right of this video, but I am sure it will be discussed a lot more later this week." Back to the French Grand Prix then, and my one to watch this time round, I'm going to give it to Pierre Gasly. As is the case with Romain Grosjean and Esteban Ocon, of course, this is his home Grand Prix, but the reason I'm making him my one to watch is that he has had a very strong start to the season, and based on comments made after Canada, he is very fired up for this weekend. And as he himself said, he also pushed the team and Honda to change his power unit in Canada so he would avoid a penalty at Paul Ricard. So, fresh engine, fired up and performing well, plus his solid drive in Canada from the back, could well set him up very nicely for this weekend. I would usually put some Twitter polls in at this point, however, I forgot to put them on Twitter if I'm being completely honest, but also with the Red Bull news, I didn't want the video to overrun massively. So I'm going to hop straight onto my predictions, and predictions that will probably be absolutely terrible. But nevertheless, I've gone with Lewis Hamilton for pole position on the Saturday. It's not a popular opinion, but I do still think the Mercedes is the quickest over 1 lap. But I think Sebastian Vettel, with that race pace in the Ferrari, will take the win on Sunday, ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. I'm going to go with 1 safety car, but 4 retirements. As I've already said a couple of times in this video, it is so difficult to make predictions for this weekend because it is so unpredictable. We don't know who is going to be the strongest. I mean, it's safe to assume it's probably going to be anybody with decent power, so Mercedes and Ferrari. But Red Bull will definitely be in the mix. Look at Canada. On paper, they shouldn't have performed well there, and they were very solid all weekend. So as I keep saying, we just don't know. I can't wait for Friday morning. That is it for the French Grand Prix preview. They were my predictions, of course, but what are yours? Who do you think will take pole position on Saturday? Who's going to win the race on Sunday? And what is your podium? And I guess as well, what are your thoughts on Red Bull's decision to ditch Renault and switch to Honda? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I will be back on Thursday with another video, but in the meantime, you can follow me on social media. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.